I ask for a motion to return to the regular order of business?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Introduced by, hang on a second. Now, Councilman Henwood.
Yes.
Councilman Doran.
Yes.
Councilman Monty.
Yes.
Councilman Vidal.
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo.
Yes.
Mayor Delaney.
We just completed our closed session agenda, and we have two resolutions which the council will be voting on. It's in regards to the ball field and to the contract we have with Waterside Construction. Are you reading them on?
Greg has the resolution. Mayor, if I just can just follow up on that. I had asked to go into closed session to discuss the potential consequences of the condition of Veterans Field. I wanted to have an opportunity to meet with the governing body and make a recommendation to the governing body how we should proceed. And I felt appropriate to do that in closed session. And as a result of our closed session discussion, I believe the governing body is prepared to take action on the Veterans Field project. So that the action is contained in two resolutions. I think the administrator is going to read the resolutions, first of all, involving the remedial action work plan prepared by our environmental consultant Terms Environmental. Is that correct, Greg?
Which one did you want to read?
The one involving the remedial action work plan.
Okay. Whereas Terms Environmental Services Incorporated prepared a summary report dated February 5th, 2014, setting forth the results of their investigation concerning the contaminated materials that were imported onto Veterans Field by Waterside Construction, LLC. And whereas the summary report confirms that the soil samples taken at Veterans Field have been validated by an independent testing lab selected by the contractor, Waterside Construction, LLC, and said test results have been provided to the contractor. These test results have not been disputed by the contractor or the contractor's licensed site remediation professional. And whereas the governing body has authorized Terms to prepare a remediation action work plan, which will be submitted to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for approval in order to remediate the contaminated soil that was imported to Veterans Field, and said work plan is dated February 6, 2014. And whereas the remediation plan requires the excavation and removal of all previously identified improper soil as set forth in the plan, and now therefore be resolved that the governing body hereby approves, endorses, and authorizes the remedial action work plan prepared by Terms Environmental Services dated February 6, 2014, which plan was summarized by Terms in their letter dated February 5th, 2014, and be it further resolved that the governing body shall implement the remedial action work plan upon approval from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and the Environmental Protection Agency, if applicable. I need an introduction and a second.
Do we have an intro?
So moved.
I'll second. Roll call.
Is there discussion before?
Sure.
I just want to point out that this plan that we're looking at tonight, or the plan that we're endorsing through the resolution, is a plan that brings us back to where there is zero recordable contaminants in the ball field. There was a plan that was requested from the LSRP and a construction company that would have left some in there, capped it, might have passed muster with DEP, but the mayor and council turned it down, hands down, so we don't need to see that report. This report is the finest that we can do to get us back to where we can move forward.
Any other comments?
Mayor, I just want to, Councilman Henwood, I think the standard is to bring it down to residential standards.
Okay.
Not zero.
Okay.
That would be impossible, but it is the lowest standard recognized by the.
And they were looking at something
Right,
under
they were looking
10
at
parts.
much higher than that.
Any other comments?
Just want to say this is a new game plan to move forward. We have a lot of questions, a lot of concerns about what took place, but right now this is all about putting something together to get the park started again as soon as possible and to get working on it as quickly as we can.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Councilman Henwood. Councilman Doran.
Yes, Mayor, Councilman Dornan asked me, again, whether he can participate in this vote, and I believe that because it is requesting approval to enact the remedial action work plan prepared by our environmentalists, I believe that Councilman Dornan is eligible to vote on this.
Councilman Dorn?
Yes.
Councilman Monti?
Yes.
Councilman Vidal?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
Resolution passes, Mayor.
Yes, Mayor, the second resolution addresses the decision by the governing body to take action in direct relationship to the conduct of the contractor, Waterside Construction, in bringing improper soil onto Veterans Field, and the steps that are now going to be required to remediate that, and what the borough has decided in their best interest moving forward, how to best do that. I have contacted the bond company. They are on notice of the situation here, and if the governing body adopts the next resolution, we will then pursue all possible remedies and hopefully work in conjunction with the bond company to remediate Veterans Field and also restore it and complete the renovations as anticipated by the contractor.
Okay, the resolution reads as follows. Whereas the Borough of Edgewater, in accordance with the local public contracts law, awarded a contract to Waterside Construction LLC on June 18, 2012 by resolution number 2012-192, which project included remediation and renovations to Veterans Field in accordance with the bid specifications. And whereas the site remediation included the removal and disposal of contaminated materials from the site in accordance with state and federal regulations and the terms and conditions set forth in the contract. And whereas pursuant to the terms of the contract, the contractor was obligated to import only certified clean fill or stone to the site from a quarry and or crushed virgin rock. In addition, the contractor could use only certified clean topsoil and sod from a clean approved source. And whereas the borough retained the services of Terms Environmental Services to act as their licensed site remediation professional, to oversee the entire remediation project, and to ensure that the contractor complied with the terms and conditions of the contract. Any fill brought to the site was subject to the approval of the LSRP. And whereas by letter dated October 3rd, 2013, Terms Environmental Services issued a letter to the borough advising that the contractor had imported improper fill that contained high levels of PCBs onto Veterans Field. As a result thereof, Terms immediately closed the field until such time as they could complete an assessment of the field and develop a work plan to remove the fill. Terms issued a follow-up letter dated October 30th, 2013, confirming that improper fill was brought to Veterans Field by the contractor. And whereas meetings were held between borough representatives, Terms Environmental Services, and Waterside Construction to discuss the level of contamination and the steps that must be taken in order to remediate the site and remove the improper fill brought onto the site by the contractor. And whereas meetings were held between borough representatives, Terms Environmental Services, and Waterside Construction to discuss the level of contamination and the steps that must be taken in order to remediate the site and remove the improper fill brought onto the site by the contractor. And whereas by letter dated February 5th, 2014, Terms Environmental Services advised the borough that all soil samples taken at the site had been validated by the independent testing lab selected by the contractor, and further advised that approximately 25,000 cubic yards of improper fill must be removed from the site. And whereas after thorough deliberation and consideration, the borough has determined that Waterside Construction had imported contaminated fill onto the site, and such action constitute a material breach of contract and that Waterside Construction LLC does not have the means nor qualifications under New Jersey law to remediate the site. And now therefore be it resolved that the Borough of Edgewater hereby declares Waterside Construction in default of the contract for violations of the terms and conditions of the contract, and the borough shall pursue all remedies available to them to hold the contractor responsible for such breach, and the borough shall pursue the prompt completion of this project. Furthermore, the borough will retain the services of Terms Environmental Services and Neglia Engineering during the period of remedial action work plan in order to complete and remediate the soil contamination. At the conclusion of the remediation and the remedial action work plan, the borough will evaluate both the LSRP, Terms Environmental Services, and the engineer, Neglia Engineering Services, to determine whether they or other professionals will be retained to complete the renovation of Veterans Field. Need an introduction?
What's an introduction?
I'll introduce it.
A second?
Second.
Roll call.
Council comments?
Discussion, I'm sorry.
No problem. I think that it's important to understand that 5 months ago, we were given notice, approximately 5 months ago, given notice of this contamination that's gone into the field. The contractor has agreed and admitted that he has put a certain amount in. May not agree with all of it. At this point, it doesn't matter. We put his bond company on notice. We have questions with regard to everything that has gone there moving forward. Those questions will be hashed out one form or another, but we need to move on with the ball field and get it done. This is not the company to do it. So we will go after with all efforts, as it indicates in the resolution, to get money back that the bond company holds or other means that make the citizens whole. And I think this is important that we take a step to move forward.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Henwood. Yes. Councilman Dorn.
Yes.
Councilman Monty.
Abstain.
Councilman Vidal.
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
This time I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Henwood.
yes.
Councilman Dorn.
Yes.
Councilman Monty.
Yes.
Councilman Vidal.
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome. Yes.
Thanks, sir.
Tim.